Hello, this is the Private Investigator Experience podcast, and I'm your host, Phil Little. On this channel, we talk about the life and cases of a private investigator, and I work my cases through the lens of my military, law enforcement, intelligence service, and global security background. And I also then add just a touch of my biblical worldview to come up with solutions. I also look at the things going on around the world, situations that can and will affect us here at home. I started out as a Hollywood private eye working in Los Angeles, but soon became involved in international affairs with the start of my work in Israel and southern Lebanon in the 1970s, where I got first-hand exposure to terrorism and what was going on in that part of the world, and ultimately then how it was going to spread to the rest of the world. This post is, I'm just talking here out of my heart and out of my head. I don't have any notes. I just want to touch on an issue that one particular issue with all this going on that I believe is the most important for our government, the president to focus on. President Trump's done a lot of great things, and in his first term, and already we closed the border. Thank God we stopped this illegal, criminal, and ever kind of riffraff coming in that Biden let in. That's amazing. Right now, we're faced with two major wars going on, with the one in Russia, Ukraine, and the one in Israel that started with Hamas, of course, the surrogate of Iran. But I think the president is facing a real dilemma because he promised the people that there would be no more wars. He would be out of that. He would keep the nation out of wars. And he said so many times that he would stop the Ukraine Russia war in the first day he was elected. I think he overestimated his abilities. He's good negotiator, Mr. Trump. You're very good, but you're dealing now with the pros on top of pros in Russia and Iran. Mr. Putin obviously doesn't want to settle, and some of my reports from inside Russia and people that really follow Russia and what's going on is that Putin is in a situation where if he was to settle this and give back territory, he would probably get removed from office. And he's made so many commitments to what he was going to do. Now he's 3 years into the thing, and he has lost 1 million plus of soldiers and all the equipment, and just the equipment that was destroyed in that last movement by Ukraine, where they used drones built in the country. So he's got a problem. And Mr. Trump has found out, President Trump, that he hasn't been able to move him. And I hope, and I don't think he will, but that he will be so concerned about keeping that word on, I'm going to settle this war, that he will try to give Russia a whole lot more than what they shouldn't get anything. They should move back out of Ukraine territories totally. But anyway, that I believe is a major issue. And then we go to the Israel-Iran situation. Excuse me, I'm having a trouble with my nose here. They say when you have an itchy nose that you're going to have company come. So I'm not sure about that. That's what I heard on the farm in Missouri growing up. And so, what is the situation in Israel and with Iran? I've talked on this before, and I've been heavily involved in the Middle East for the last 50 years, in and out of there on the ground, a lot after 9/11. And I've got a pretty good understanding of how they think and what's really going on there. And we can't go in, as we found with Iraq and Afghanistan, you can't go in and hope to set up a U.S. type government. It's one, the countries aren't ready for it, even if they wanted to, but they don't. The situation we have and why it's so critical with Iran is that this situation is a spiritual issue, not a physical one. And I've touched on this before. Iran, the Shia Iran, which are the most radical of the Iranians, the Sunni is left, and they are of the belief of the 12th Imam belief, and that is very similar to our Judeo-Christian Messiah. And they believe, but the difference is, they believe that if they start a war to annihilate Israel, then out of the cave will come the 12th Imam. He's going to help them defeat Israel and then ultimately defeat the world and set up their Islamic caliber and Sharia law in the world. But they have to start the war to annihilate Israel. It's not going to come out until they have. That's why they need a nuclear weapon. And they will use it if they get it. Mr. President, this is not somebody you're negotiating with that, man, they just after power and they get pushed a little bit and lose something. They'll say, oh, maybe this isn't the time. Let's settle this and we'll back up. Well, they're not going to do that. As you already see, they're not going to give up their enrichment. And if they say they do, it's not going to happen. They'll find a way to get around it. And we'll have to deal with this later. And the tragedy would be if this gets pushed down the road and we don't eliminate the nuclear and eliminate the mullahs and help Iran take back their country with a legitimate government that really is of the people and by the people there, then we could come about this 4, 5, or 10 years down the road when maybe, God forbid, that there would be another president like Biden or the leftists get in and they would just succumb. If they get a nuclear weapon, they'd say, okay, go ahead, do whatever you're going to do, because they would be so weak and so afraid. So this is a time in history that's critical. We need to do whatever's necessary to take out the nuclear capabilities and allow Israel to take out the rest of the leadership, and all that will hopefully bring back down the paving in where the Iranian people this time. I know Obama, if you remember, when there was an uprising and it was strong. Oh, Biden, Obama, oh, Biden. Well, that's a combination there on words, wasn't it? Obama refused to help them. And in fact, I've been told, I haven't heard this directly, but I've been told that Obama had said at times that he would support the Muslims first and foremost. So they slaughtered the innocent Iranians rising up, and they defeated that. So now we need to give them that opportunity, but support them in every way possible. No, we can't set up American government there. We shouldn't, or a European government, or any other. It's got to be of the Persian people and leadership that will support them and allow them freedom and let the country flourish. They're very vibrant, oil rich, but also smart people that could do wonders for their country. Mr. President, I hope and I know we that are part of your tribe, the MAGA, Make America Great Again, understand that this is necessary for the good of America. And we're not talking about a war. We're not talking about boots on the ground. We're talking about a couple, the most hits by a B-2 that will take out Fordo and help whatever else might need to be done. And it'll be a 1 or 2 off situation. And some oh, Russia or China. I had heard, and I'm not sure again, I heard this from some political sources in Washington that President Trump had said he was concerned about what China or Russia would do if he used the bunker buster. Mr. President, if we're afraid of that, then we're in real trouble as a country. There shouldn't be any fear if we're doing what is right by the American people and to protect the American people. And what have they done? China, according to the mine resources from inside China, Xi is on the way out. He's already had the military taken away, and supposedly he's going to resign in the next meeting in July. It's already been set up. It's already underway, and he's on a leash right now, so I'm told. So we'll find that out. And Russia, they're in no shape to do anything. They would like to see this oil price go up and this situation go on for a while. They would love that. And China doesn't want to see it upset because they're getting 80% of the Iranian oil is coming to them, and then 50% of the oil going to China comes out of the Strait of Hormuz in the Gulf, and they don't want to see that shut down. So they're not going to do anything. And we have the forces. Somehow there's the ability to get some missiles out of Iran, which we, thank God, we're encouraging the administration is Israel to go ahead and take out all these offensive weapons. They're not going to have much left to even try to do anything to us on. And we'll have the assets on the ground, which is already positioning there to take them out. We need to move quickly. I think the window is closing quickly, and it needs to happen that I suspect, and from what I'm told and listening and hearing, that the president's waiting, hoping Israel will come up with a way to do this on their own or figure out some way we could get the bomb to them and perhaps use the C-130, which can drop this with some modifications and be able to not have direct military involvement because they could use their own C-130s and deliver the bomb to them. Whatever, I'm concerned that we don't miss this opportunity because if Iran keeps the ability to have a nuclear, to have enrichment some way, if they survive. If the regime survives this, it won't be long. 5 years, 3 years, 7 years, 10 years, whatever. They will rebuild their capability. No country has been able to stop them. No sanctions have been able to stop them in the past. Nothing, Mr. President, has been able to stop them. And nothing will now unless the United States of America stands up and takes out all of their capabilities and gets these people out of power where the Persian people can have their country back. What a disgrace it's been in the West to allow Iran to do since 1979 what they've done to the Persian people and to Iran. There'll be a law against it. It's a crime. And it's time we reverse that. America is standing strong with Israel, and I thank God for that. I happen to believe what the Bible says in Genesis. It says, those who support Israel, God will support. Those who curse Israel, God will curse. I don't know about you, but I don't want to be on the end of curses from God because there's not a good outcome to that. So telling this and talking, trying to sway you or to get you to believe everything I say, check it out. Check me out. Check out. You've got things online. Most of all this is online. I've got some resources probably you don't have, but it's all there if you'll search the internet and the web for it. So will you help me by liking, sharing, and subscribing? Hit that notification bell for future posts. Let people know that it's time we step out of the crowd, stand up, let our voices be heard, and stand for a free America. I don't care whether you're a Democrat, Republican, Independent, or Libertarian, whatever you are. We need to stand together as American people on this. This is not a partisan issue. This is an issue where it's about America and our future. So let me know what you think. Leave your comments on any of the platforms or email me directly at pi 777 at gmail.com. Give me your opinions. What do you think about this whole situation? What you would like to see happen? Many times I have people tell me, I wish I'd have known you a year or two or three ago when I had a problem. I didn't know a PI could help me. Well, if you got a problem with your business, family, or something in life that it's an issue, you can't find out what's really going on. So you might say, can a PI help me? Well, send me a summary of that issue to pi 777 at gmail.com. Check it out and I'll let you know. So until next time, may God bless you. May God bless your family. May God bless America. Stay safe and stand tall. Step out of the crowd. Let's make a difference together.